So we are not looking for calmness, we're not looking for an obtainable peace. Obtainable peace. We're not trying to do anything, actually. We just have to see the fact, right? The fact. What is the fact? And the fact is a fact. And the fact is a fact. It's not something that we have to make. We don't have to make it so. Right? We don't have to make truth become true. Right? Truth cannot become true. Right? Or a fact cannot become fact. Or reality cannot become reality. Reality must be, right? Or presence. Right? How can we look for presence, right? When all there is presence. But if we consider time or take into give importance to time, right? That there really is a past, that there really is a future, then actually nowness is a very thin line, and if you really look into it, you will not find any size to it. That's mind-boggling, right? You will not find any size to it, because it can always be infinitely small, right? That's the line of presence. But that's not how things are, right? Because everything that you experience is presence. We can only experience presence. We can only, and it's not that we experience someone is experiencing presence, right? Because since presence is what we are, right? We can only live presence. We cannot measure presence. Right? See that when we try to measure nowness, it's infinitely small, right? But that's something that we measure. It's a mental construct. It's a mental concept. Actually, that which is measuring, in a sense, is already presence. Like we cannot take presence out of ourselves and measure it. How could we do that? Right? It's an impossibility. So presence is lived. Presence is lived. And actually presence is that intimacy of being ourselves, the innermost ourselves, is presence. We cannot know presence as something outside of ourselves. Something that we measure. It's not something that we measure. It's not something that we can have. It's not something that we can obtain. Right? Since we are it, this presence is actually living us, in a sense. How much time has it passed? How much time has it passed? All past, in a sense, is a memory that we put on a timeline, which is a graphic representation in our conceptual mind. We do this conceptually. But all that imagining happens right now, right? Happens only right now. So we cannot find any true past. We cannot find any true future. Real future, real past. So we cannot separate ourselves from presence, right? Like presence being somewhere in the background. So we cannot separate ourselves from presence. Going back to this world of ideas, it's the same, right? Within the ideas, there is a past, right? But the idea itself, what it is made out of, cannot have a past, right? Cannot be in past. So this very stuff that the ideas are made out of is presence and can only be presence. Of course you can have the idea of a past and of a future, but the idea itself is not in the past. So, but this idea itself is nothing else but presence, but consciousness, because any boundary that would delimit idea from consciousness is an idea, is within the idea. So that square or circle from within the idea is nothing else but the idea, and it's nothing else but consciousness. What I'm trying to emphasize here is that it's immaterial. Doesn't have a dimension, it doesn't have a size, it doesn't have a value. Really. Or it has absolute value. You can say that. Has absolute value. So it's not possible that the idea of more value, like 500, 10,000, or anything, any number, any more you can think of, it's not possible for that to add any value to that which is made out of the idea itself, or to consciousness. Not that consciousness is an idea, but yes, I think it's clear. So nothing can add to you, nothing can add to us. Nothing can add to consciousness. Nothing can subtract from consciousness. Nothing can start consciousness or presence. And so on. So there is no beginning. To this. So what are we waiting for? Like, what are we waiting? Can we really wait? Can we really wait? No one is really waiting. No one is really waiting. The truth is, no one is really waiting. No one is really waiting. This is good practice. No one is really waiting. No one is really waiting. No one is really waiting. Waiting is an impossibility. Waiting is an impossibility. Waiting for what? The focus is off, so